Dear fellow children, there is not one of us who doesn't know that out there on the sunny side of the security blanket, this living world of ours has never known a single moment of such deadly jeopardy. Our blanket is itself more dangerous than all the hawks in their high places, east and west. The blanket is more dangerous than the bomb. What can I do? Is what we murmur to ourselves under that blanket. What can one person do about all that? Complications? Translate them into choice, and you are down to just two choices: life or death. You hear that, Mr. Reagan? But this is a bipartisan celebration, and I come to praise him, not to bury him. It's true. I didn't come to preach to the converted, but to speak a good word or two in season for the process of conversion. Reagan's campaign was fought and won against the most conservative president since Howard Taft, and Carter was just that. Reagan's Sunbelt friends and funders were from a richer, far-right mixture than the GOP was used to. So when the voices of the radical right rose up in such sweetly perfect harmony, we discounted the votes cast not for Reagan, but against a Baptist preacher whose chief defect was that he didn't know how to preach. Forget the numbers, which were not considerable, and hailed a landslide for the arch-conservatives, a mandate for the radical wing of the far right. But like all radical constituencies, this one is rather small and very loud. Once in office, no ordinary, able politician could afford to disregard it. Yet Ronald Reagan, all evidence to the contrary, is no ordinary man. No, what we have now in the White House is an authentic ideologue. The first one anybody can remember. His political ideas, which are fortunately not too numerous, like the elderly footprints of the movie stars paving the way to the old Hollywood theater, would seem to be embedded in concrete. But wait, just listen. Listen to the man 3 days ago in Germany. He spoke of peace marches, and he did place a certain benevolent and almost pitying distance between the protesters and the president. But in the midst of all that, he did say that he had noticed something in one of those parades. It was a placard, and it read simply this: "I am afraid." The president, who is the very best of TV speakers, paused at this. But you know that I did feel that there was something beyond his actor's skill that filled that pause. I heard just for that moment the rarest sound in politics, the resonance of human truth. For Reagan said, "I am afraid too." Isn't that just exactly what we want to hear from him? Of course, that man must somehow learn that the slavering snarl of the Soviets is itself the rictus of a mortal fear. Above all, he must finally realize that we are, all of us, afraid. And that all his trillion-dollar blustering about new armaments won't cure the nightmare. It will only make it worse. Last week there was scarcely a sumptuous palace in all Europe which was not treated to the noisy rattling of the Reagan saber. Diplomats have wondered why a few short weeks before a scheduled conference on disarmament and peace, and Freudians will have noted that the word ashes was perhaps an interesting slip. This is a question for which no man or woman has an answer. And it is simply this. In all our long history on this planet, there is nothing that a man has ever known, whether the world is young or old. Dear friends, just right at this moment, I'm afraid that I am feeling rather old. They tell us, the scientists, the experts in all the arts of hell on earth, that we are just now at a crucial crossroads in technology, that we are leaving the unthinkable and entering a new age of the utterly unspeakable. The news is partly what has shaken us awake. The truth is that we have, through those torpid years, begun to think of the unthinkable the way we think of death. A lot of us spend most of our lives forgetting that we're ever going to die and brush away any intimations of mortality because it's inevitable. And that notion of inevitability has somehow been allowed to tack itself onto the whole planet Earth. And now we're reaching the 11th hour, and what is truly shaking a little sense into us is the realization of what our true place was meant to be in this lovely, fragile habitation. We are the descendants of those artists who, thousands of years ago, made all those splendid paintings in the caves. They were our ancestors, and we are ancestors. For today, and for as long as it is true, let us believe that it was more than rhetoric when Reagan told us that his heart was with the marchers. If only just marching would be enough to do the job. Well, just marching has brought him around to this. Just marching has made him agree to the formal terms of the SALT Treaty. He may be many things, but he will never be a cynic, and that's a lot to say for any man, for any president. They say that men learn wisdom in that office. We here are ready to believe that you may soon discover that the voice of the rich WASP country club is not uniquely the voice of the United States of America. Not only praise, but all our gratitude goes out today to a president who listened. But forgive us, Mr. President, There is one thing in which you're wrong, even today. You have mistaken us for them. We are not them. He is a part of us.